over maybe 5 minutes. Anybody got places to be, things to do? Chiefs already played today, so ain't nothing good on TV. And so we talk about, this idea of being sort of in the zone, right? And really being, and for yourself, I don't know if you remember, maybe you're in that place, or maybe you've had a time where you felt like, man, I am really in the zone. Or in retrospect, you look at it and go, that's when I was in the zone. What sorts of habits? Because if I was asking another producer, it would have to be Kobe Setzer, which maybe he'll get on with us in 2 minutes, maybe he won't. But if I was asking another one, it'd have to be him, because you see the longevity, you see the consistency between you, between him, between a couple other producers that you can watch over and over and over again get on the leaderboard. What kind of habits do you think that leads to that, getting in the zone?
That's a really interesting question because you didn't ask me, if I heard you right, what does it look like to be in the zone? You said how to get into the zone. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because for me, when I was in the zone, and this is interesting, and I don't know if everybody's going to experience it the same way I experienced it. Many probably won't. This will probably be one of the hardest things I say on the call. All of you can be like Jeremy Whitaker. Many of you won't. You just won't. Some of you will be better. Some of you will find a place where you're getting what you want out of symmetry, and it's not what Jeremy Whitaker has done here career-wise, and that's okay. Because we're competing, we're not comparing. But I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Many of you won't do what Jeremy does, or what I've done, or what Colby's done, or what Kate does, or what anybody who's in the top 10% of Symmetry Financial Group does. So what's crazy is when I came here, I didn't know what the zone was. Like, I was so blank and so empty and so in this place where it's like, I just have to make money. And this is how I know I was very coachable. I went to Marlon Faulkner and I said, what do I need to do? When do I need to do it? Where do I need to do it? So in order to get into the zone, I think you have to know, one, that you're not in the zone. It's probably a good place to start. You're not in the zone, okay? You're all over the place in your freaking head and you're not where you need to be. Then you have to go to your mentor and you have to like put it down. Lay it down on the altar and be like, hey man, where do I need to go? What do I need to do? Where do I need to be? And then you need to get so committed to the process of that it becomes like you're addicted to crack cocaine. I mean, I don't know, alcohol, cigarettes. It's your way of life. If you play sports, I mean, there's like a time there was a time in my business, if I could tell the story. People will call me on Saturday, ask me to do a training with them at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. And I was sitting there up there, like talking to these people like this. And they knew, like Marlon and Ike Manella knew what they were doing. They were like, why are you kind of antsy? And they would ask me that question in front of people because I was so trained in the process. I'd say, because we should be dialing them. Because it was very simple. You dialed on Fridays. It was key. Like when we started, it was like 4 to 8 was the prime time. 9 to 12 is on Saturdays. Like you just become like almost robotic. Okay, cool. Then I ran appointments back in the day, Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and I ran them from 10 noon to 4, 6, and 8, 6 a day, every 2 hours, including travel time. When I was on the road, driving 50,000 miles a year, I would leave my house at 8, no later than 8. I would go down this highway and I would go to Oklahoma City, an hour and a half away, because 8 to 9:30 puts me 30 minutes before my first appointment. At 8 o'clock, I can risk assess everybody and look at pending business from 8 to 9. Probably 30 minutes for risk assessments, 30 minutes for pending business. I tag team them because most likely you're calling a carrier where you have risk assessments and pending business because you're riding with the same people. I would literally be done with my last appointment at 10 o'clock at night, and I would be on the highway and back at my house by 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I would get up and do the same thing. When you asked me what was it like to be in the zone, you just heard it. Like, that was robotic. We knew that was happening every Friday, every Saturday. And guys, listen, if you suck on the phones, it's okay. I've done 18 hours on the phones. I've done 9 to 9 on Friday, 9 to 9 on Saturday. Like, you just got to go get it. 15 appointments every week minimum. 15 appointments every week minimum. When I was kicking it, $30,000, $40,000 a month, it was 15 appointments every week. You can give me 20 A-leads, I will book 15, and I'll get the next 5 next week. And that's when I knew I was in the zone. I mean, I all the way down to the lead budget before leads increased. And it was $550, just under $600 every week. Knocked it out like cookie cutter. And I didn't know how to get there. But a mentor said, you have to master this. And I mastered it. And I just did what he told me to do. And what's so cool is when you let go of that and you figure out how to like be in that place, it's really awesome to turn it up. You can turn it up, you can turn it down. It's like I said, anybody who's ever played sports, like when they first play sports, like they don't know anything. At some point, you play sports long enough that when you know what the zone feels like and you know how to control it. But for anybody who's never been there, it's okay. You don't know yet how to control it. But if you do it long enough and you do it hard enough, you absolutely know how to control it. I mean, we talk about unconscious competence all the time. Many of you are in the conscious competent, conscious incompetent stage where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but at least I know that I don't know what I'm doing. And once you get in that groove, it is the coolest thing because you'll get to a place where, like me and Jeremy, and you'll know how to apply that. I believe you know how to apply that in other places. I've applied it to recruiting. I've applied it to building teams. I've applied it to other things in my life. But I know that wasn't exactly what you were looking for, Jeremy. My story is really strange because I didn't know, and to this day, if someone's asked me what's one of the biggest struggles I have as a leader, and what one of the biggest struggles you guys will have as leaders, is how does Kate Weir duplicate Kate Weir? How can she get someone to like jack in the back of her head and do it the way she does it? Because we tell people, hey, Jeremy, go find another Jeremy. Juan, go find another Juan. Nick, go find another Nick. That's why the coachability, like finding that person in your business or those people in your business who will even just do half of what you did. Like they'll just get so close to you. They'll get that far up on your butt. And they will just do it as much as they can. It's so important. Because we like to think this is a business, like I can read a bunch of books all day, and guys, I'm an insurance geek. I know your underwriting guidelines backwards and forwards. I know the height and weight charts for every single company. Like I'm that kind of guy. I read it when I go to sleep. But the act of doing the business is done in activity. It's literally done sitting across the ways from Jeremy Whitaker, listening to him dial for an hour, and then dialing for an hour yourself and letting him say, I wouldn't say it like that next time. It's literally calling from the home like every time and letting him be on the call every time and listening to how he asks the questions from the client. It is literally calling him after every appointment and saying, I said it the way you said it. And then he looks at you and says, if you said it the way I said it, you'd have it the way I have it. And listening to him to say, well, let's go through that. I literally called Marlon Faulkner every time from the home and every time after the home for 9 months. So, I mean, I just lived the groove is what I'm trying to say. I lived it. And so now I can recognize what it was. But back then, man, I didn't know what it was.
That is so good.